Hello and welcome. Why you dab? Hello and welcome.
Why you that?
Why you
I
dab?
was I was
Hello
on
and
point.
welcome.
Why you that?
Why you
I
dab?
Hold
was
on, shut up.
I was
Hello
on
and
point.
There we go.
or maybe.
Now we don't have the thousand echoes. Stop trying to eat
Oh,
plastic.
That
I'm sure.
explains.
I'm sure the cessation of the thousand echoes is really great when you announce it. We all go ah, one after
Stop
the
messing with
other.
stuff on my desk. Here.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's episode of Homeward, the Nerd Asylum's Starfinder actual play live stream show here in Twitch, in the Nerd Asylum's Twitch. And tonight is kind of a bit of a special night because it's our last episode for this year, 2012, of the year of a Lord. And
2012.
2012?
no, sorry, 2000.
The simulation
I was just gonna
broke.
wait. I was just gonna wait, guys.
2022.
22.
22. Oh my god, I forgot how to say that fucking number. 2020.
You're not in high school anymore, Secrane. It's okay.
I was in
God.
school.
Yeah, god damn.
It's
So
been 10
anyway,
years since then.
it's been a week. It's been some weeks. Either way, tonight's our last episode of this year, whatever year this is, and of this first season of Homeward. And we'll be retaking the story in January 12th. Am I?
I don't know. My
Of
calendar doesn't go that far.
2013.
Yes,
Oh,
January
yes,
12th of
2013.
2023.
Or
Is that how you
2013.
pronounce?
Who knows at this point?
Yes,
Yes,
23.
23.
23.
If you say
Or Secret's right, and it's actually 2012, and we just don't know it yet.
I'm just mixing all numbers right now. Numbers in Spanish and English. It's not fun. Either way. So before we jump into our little recap, we'll do a bit of differently from how we often do, and we'll start with quick announcements, quick things that we need to lay out for shout outs, for things for you guys to check out for later on. And we're gonna start with our here. I forgot the word in English. Mom. Faye, go on. I forgot the word I was gonna use.
Hey, no worries. Hi, I'm Faye, guys. I typically are found on my own server, Willwitch RP. You can find us doing all sorts of Dungeons and Dragons games, but we've got other cool things that we do in our community as well. You can find out more about us at wildewitch.com. That's going to be WILDEWITCH.com. And we've got a lot of cool things that we like to do.
Hell yeah.
Okay, and there was something else to be announced. I think Sky,
Hi.
you have the
Yeah.
microphone for you.
It's me, yeah. Hi, I'm Sky. I don't typically make announcements, but starting somewhere towards the end of this week, I don't know exactly when, I'm teaming up with a bunch of streamers towards the end of the year to donate to Project Thankmas, which will be going, I believe, towards ending hunger in war zones for children. It's the once a year put on YouTube production from Jacksepticeye. I'm teaming up with a group of 10 streamers from here on Twitch and YouTube. It will be starting off on the channel Chrysitheus V on YouTube. So if you're free to donate, our goal this year is going to be $700. So if you cannot get enough of me, you can go there, and I can tell you at least one of our stretch goals will be me DMing a special Christmas one shot for a bunch of the players.
Very
Nice.
cool.
So I'll send post the link here in the chat for you guys.
Yay.
Nice. I'm not sure if we have any other announcements to do before we begin tonight.
I've got nothing. Just preemptively, everyone have a good and safe Yuletide and holiday season.
Yeah. Also, Thea, don't laugh at me. I don't know why I went a bit weird-icky. Yeah. I don't know why I went that way.
I don't know why either, man. It's okay. You're just preparing
So-
for Sunday. It'll be fine. Don't drink my water. That's my water.
Cat must have water from human.
Stop. Get the butt out of my screen. Go.
It's just the tail.
I
we
will
just get the
yeet you
tail.
onto the futon again.
Oh
So-
god.
Scream, not stream.
Okay.
Last where we left off, our group of individuals banded to help the Dralark, the ship they have found themselves with no memory and in severe state of damage, managed to recover a crystal that was meant to be used for the restoration of the drift engine. Basically, in the Starfinder, it's the equivalent of the engine used to traverse across the stars in a quicker, not exactly safe, but at least
Efficient.
somewhat efficient manner. And that has been failing and not very stable. And after delivering this piece they brought back from planet side and left the engineering crew to deal with it at the moment, they spread out to their in different activities to do. And some of you went to do your begin checking in for the different deceased individuals of the ship, identifying people that unfortunately had no, their faces were harder to identify normally through the now recovered files of the crew manifesto. And along with that, here our in-house computer technician dash hacker managed to recover also the information of the different people of where the quarters are and things like that, and pass information to the one individual of our group that was lacking the room. And after recovering access to the room, found not much terms and belongings, but a peculiar I said last time it was a piece of metal, but I'm wrong. It was a mug.
It was a
my
flask.
bad. A flask, almost thrown and stuck in the trash bin. And in there, they saw an icon, the emblem of something that caught them in a memory, not very pleasant, of their past. In the meantime, our two more socially inclined individuals of the group, Kasinkara and Nolodius, were
Do not
finishing
click on my
working with
fingers.
figuring out the situation about the
It's our Pokédex of dead guys.
sorry, I got distracted
No,
by
you're
the
fine.
cat. And each one went on their way after Kasinkara letting Nolodius
Don't
know
bite
about
my
of
face.
a bit about
it's
the different a bit of the file they found about Nolodius, and Nolodius, processing this information, went back to his room with a very curious situation. He found himself in the corridors of the ship, for a moment trapped in an hallucination, a vision, something that left him unnerving as he was returning to his quarters. The door opens and he's suddenly there in his quarters, just seeing S sitting there in a couch reading. In the meantime, we go back to the office of Kasinkara as she's finalizing a closing there and heading to her rooms. To their room, sorry. And on your way there, you're seeing some faces of people going around. There's some movement now that the information of where everybody's quarters are has been spread out, put into various main data panels across the ship, so people can see that. So there's a lot of movement overall in the.
Listen here, little shithead. Stop biting me. Sorry. I should mute myself.
No, I just like thinking that's how she talks to us.
That's not how Kay talks. That's how I
Nope.
talk.
What? It's what Kay says in Sheeran. No, it's a joke.
He
That's
talks
how Kay
like,
talks to Mac.
No.
Listen here, you little shithead. Stop being so down on yourself.
There we go. See? Isn't it better when you're calm? Don't bite me.
you summon the wrath of the cat.
Great.
So you're just walking through the corridor, seeing people moving around. Some people finding out, like seeing that they have the keys to the rooms and accessing it. There's a couple that are like, how do I open this? Do you have a key? No, I don't have a key. But also situations as you go to your room, which is not very far from where you are, but still you see it, of groups of people that arrive to the same room or area, and they just don't recognize each other. You even see at a distance a group, like a male and a female, and a young kid among them. And there's just an uncomfortable moment of staring at each other, not knowing who they really are. Mhm.
Not a toy. Sorry.
Kittens. And you see that at a distance, but you're tired. You stay up quite late doing this work.
What are you eating now? That is ribbon. It's not food.
And I should have picked someone else to start.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Sorry to take
I'm
you like
no,
that.
I'm focused. I promise. I am listening.
It's okay. I know. And yeah, you're just tired and done after working with that. You didn't realize until you were walking around and now seeing people that it was heavy work just staring at basically corpses and identifying them to different faces. And now seeing some of those people like walking around is like, like there's a sensation that probably some of those people, if they were alive, they would have gone to one of those rooms that you at the moment see maybe closed and with no one going there. You open your room, get in, and feel a moment of calm. Even though this is your somewhat new to you of a place, you're still discovering what you have here. There's a sensation that this is at least somewhat of your little place of home to rest. So you have your room available for you, no one else to bother you, that you at least think for the moment.
Kay will turn on their music and try to relax because the absence of sound in their room, while comfortable, is also a little uncomfortable.
Yeah,
And they don't put on the heavy metal or the high energy stuff. They put on something that's still melodic, but has crunchy moments.
I'm like synth style of music kind of thing.
No, I was thinking more of if you've ever listened to Anita Strauss. It's just guitar work with a little bit of drums, and there's no vocals to it, to most of it.
Yeah, you turn it on. Fortunately, you have repaired the sound dampeners that are inside your room, so it's not, so it's not coming a lot through outside, and you put it in a volume that is not also.
It's not so loud
high.
that it's going to distort her vision or their vision.
Yeah. Put it on, and at the rhythm of the music, you also feel squishy too. Like it's kind of vibing to it too. Like even it's like material form that is around your second tie that you have right now. You still notice and feel like the moving of it, the vibing. And yeah, you're just in your mind. It's just still some of what is happening, and it's just to look around, seeing like the books you have, something to relax along with the music, and among all the things, there's some familiar physical books that you've seen in the past days and been reading about of culture, about the studies that you had at some point. And I need you to roll an intelligence check, memory check.
Dirty 20.
Okay. So you see that, and one of them seems somewhat like caught your attention, and you approach it, and you see that it says that it is a book that originally comes from the uh, College of Social and Political Sciences. It has a symbol of Absalom Station. If you're thinking that it's not like closing your eyes because again, but you focus on that idea. And you begin seeing as you're walking through the hallways of the ship, they seem shiny, they seem new, like recently built. Someone just recently polished it, and maybe they're still doing it day after day. You're not sure exactly where in the ship you are in this memory until you reach a door. And you call in. You identify you have some music going on, probably in your mind or probably in some like headphones you may have at the moment, or some device that are connected to, to adapt to the Sheeran anatomy for listening to music for themselves. And the door opens in front of you. And what you see in front of you, it's like what would be kind of an office, well put and very elegant design, accentuated by the sleek furniture in it. And you see at the other side of the desk that seems to be like the main furniture of this office section, you see a human with a sharp, well-trimmed facial hair and short, light brown hair pulled back. He seems to be reading some sort of data pad. And his attention, you see that he had his hand somewhere in the desk, probably something to indicate to open the door. He looks up to you and stands up to receive you, extends his hand to greet you. Come in, welcome. You might be your cousin Kara, correct? As he extends his hand to shake yours.
Kay shakes his hand and nods. I am.
Well, okay, please take a seat then. He sits down, and in this memory there is kind of fuzzy. You still don't grab all the details of the face, and somewhat of the voice is kind of missing there. Like the more detailed sound of its voice is missing in this memory. But
that's my foot. Why are you attacking my foot? Get.
And the human stabs your foot.
My prug is being particularly annoying right now. Sorry.
You see, it's okay. You see that he has the same uniform and adornation and details that the rest of the bridge officers have, but you also see it has an insignia. One that seems more elaborate than the rest of the other officers. And with a 20, you're barely able to identify that this might be the insignia of a captain. Or at least the equivalent of a captain from the Pack Worlds.
Okay.
He smiles to you, seems very friendly. Someone that knows what they're doing, kind of like very well put. He sits down and moves the data pad he was looking at a bit between you and him as you sit down in the chair in front. and you notice that in the data pad, again, the specific details are kind of missing there, but there is an image of very familiar Sheeran, with a tie that you would definitely would have chosen, adorning your well put attire. And in that memory, there's like a flash of another memory of the day that you took that photo, how proud you felt that day that you have achieved apparently something related to this. Identify this seems to be some sort of resume of your work. So, graduated from the College of Social and Political Sciences, bachelor in social psychology, specialization in therapy, interracial culture, also cultural development between races, very interesting. The human says as he's like absentmindedly scrolling in the data pad, like reading the very key things about this. Among the top of your class, and for 2 years you work as a private consultant for the Starfinder Society. In those 2 years, you were offered positions as a ship counselor and even a chief counselor for a ship. Then decline all of those. They come with recommendations from them and from other people. And you were among the first individuals to send your resume. You might have been like the second or third, actually. You were quite fast when we let out the notice that we're looking for a counselor team for the Dralark. Company will have a different kind of interview because we look for people to have the skills, but we already did our work, and the recommendation of you is quite highly. And I'm not honestly interested. You see how he dims out the screen of the data pad and moves aside their resume. And the data pad with the resume. I'm more interested about you, Kasinkara. What are you looking for in your career? Why are you looking in this ship?
Something different. Something new.
Well, you know about the mission statement of the ship? Going out there beyond the pack worlds, doing research, helping out on the development of colonies outside the reach, and with a diverse crew for sure. But we're not the first ship that we have attempted to do that.
You're the first ship with this diverse of a crew. You'll need someone with at least some understanding of multiple societies to make it flow correctly.
Indeed, we need. What are you personally searching here and out there? If you were to join us, be part of our crew, when we get back to the backworlds, what do you think will have changed on you?
How much do you know about Sheeran, Captain?
I do know that they were part of the swarm at some point. I know about the conflict happened, but also I know what you did. You were not part of the swarm when they attacked. You were already free. And every Shirin I have met has showed the same situation. They're quite independent. They're strong. They're firm.
We value our choices. And being able to choose a ship like the Drawlark to do something different amongst a lot of places that do the same thing every day is interesting for me.
You see that he somewhat smiles as he's staring for a moment at you, for a moment, like turning to the window, and in the outside, the bustling space around Absalom Station. You see just a small fraction of it over there, somewhat of your home, actually. There's memories of that place, walking across the streets, studying there. Well, I think we have not shown you what would be your, if you keep the job, would be the installations you work. So if you don't mind tour with the captain, and he stands up and offers you outside of the office of the captain.
Yeah, I will stand up, and I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Just in case something is needed, I am Captain Argus. Will be commanding the Dralark for the voyage out there.
What do you hope to find, Captain?
Something new. Answers to old questions. And I hope to find new questions to answer together with my crew. He smiles, and somewhat with your training and the way you have developed yourself and your way of thinking, you can sense the confidence in this person. If someone has done things in their lives, has maturity and is firm. And in that moment, the feeling of this is what I want comes in as you begin following him across the hallways. And you're back in your room, seeing those books, seeing the glowing lights that indicate of where there's data stored for possibly hundreds of more books there and information. And as you're thinking about that memory and the image, between you and Elodius, you went through a good section of the bodies. You went fast, even, if I recall correctly. I think you guys managed to complete it all because the good rolls.
Yeah.
There was not a single corpse that had the features of the captain.
Okay. Do I remember the way to the captain's quarters? Or where his office was so that I could talk to him? Or no?
Roll intelligence.
$22.
You do remember. Now I have your memory, and now you have seen this place. You think you're sure you can navigate yourself. And you know that it is near the bridge area. It's in a different section. kind of in between where the officers' quarters area is and the bridge.
Okay.
And kind of in between those sections, it's like a very specific kind of lounge area dedicated only for the captain, and that you commonly don't go into that lounge area, but you went more often to the its office itself. That is
Okay.
kind of like
Being exhausted as Kay is at this moment, because if I remember right, Nelodius and Kay stayed up pretty late working on that.
yes.
Kay's gonna sleep on this knowledge, and first thing when they awaken, go there.
Okay.
Am I did I mess you up?
No, you're fine. You're fine. Just the Discord. It's the Discord. Ray.
We got Ed Sheeran.
Oh my god. Okay.
It's Sharon. Wow. Okay. Yeah,
All right, moving on.
You go on and rest thinking about this. There's a bit of a relief seeing like maybe the captain is alive somewhere. Who knows? Maybe he's just lost like everybody else and doesn't remember who it is.
I'm actually thinking maybe he's locked in his office, not knowing how to get out. Because he doesn't have memory to know what button is the button to get out, and is slowly starving to death. Everyone else, you're muted, so.
Wow.
You survive the collapse of the engine on the starship, a zombie apocalypse, almost a black hole / supernova, and the thing that kills you is dehydration in your own office. How demoralizing that would be.
Just saying.
No, it's fair.
That's
As
what
that's
Kay
the
thought
end of his search for answers.
Is he dead?
What's the meaning of life?
You know what? Kay is gonna find out when they
Dying
wake
of
up.
dehydration
This is
in
a
your
problem
office.
for future Kay.
It's a problem for future K. Yes.
That's like my
Kay
answer
is
for
so
everything.
tired right now, and like they're not entirely sure if this is truly a memory or a hallucination for them.
Fair. Right now, there's been a lot of things happening.
It's been a really busy day.
Yeah, it's been a very busy day. It's been very busy days. So, moving across the middle hallways of the ship and going up toward the officers' quarters. S. You arrive to the officers' quarters. You already asked for permission for reading, and you're like there in Nulodius' room. You don't have the key to open the door, but you kind of don't need a key at this point.
Who needs keys?
You realize the lock for the officers. Okay, hold on. Before that, what is your total of like 10? If you roll a 10 plus all your shenanigans, how much it would be?
If I rolled a 10 plus all of my shenanigans for computers, it'd be a 25.
You have passive computers of 25?
Yeah.
Like if S takes 10, which is like extra, like double the time it will take. Yeah, I would say at this point, with how secure the ship is the system not fully recovered. Yeah, 25. It takes you a slightly bit that you're going calmly because the books are not going anywhere. You're not in a hurry. You're not in a life death situation. So you take your time to open it. And actually, I think you already know because you're coming back from Max helping open his own. So you enter and you go pick the book the way you left it, which I think it's
down.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to dog ear it, so it's just face down, spine up.
Oh. You could have just grabbed a leaf from one of the plants and put it like
person.
something.
Yeah, no, he just left it face down. He picks it right up where it was.
Did we agree on what was the book as was reading?
As was reading, it was a I want to say it was just like a fantasy, like sword and sorcery type story.
Yeah.
So I would feel like with where he's at, it's closer towards the end when he's coming back to it because he's been there for a while. And then when Matt called him, he was like, "All right, let me get to a space where I can stop."
Yeah. You continue reading this book. It's not long, and you've been like asking permission to read it every now and then. And I think because of way as might be you're totally free to correct me. You're a quick reader.
Yeah.
Partly of how is like your profession of like computer stuff. You're like go to codes of line quickly, so you're taking this like also that, so you're reading quickly, processing things. And yeah, the book is it's interesting. It has a lot of flair into it. Like it's kind of like the style of how Tolkien or Herbert might write, like very a lot of words. If you can say the elves walk into the woods, say that, but with like 2 paragraphs of detailing each step, the grass, the woods, and then another like entire page depicting the smells, the colors, the season, how that remind like another page of how it reminds of things to the characters. At half of it, it's not going to come ever again, and the other half, it surely will come in a weird way that somewhat makes sense. So yeah, you're just passing through a lot of those details, and at some point you're even like, yes, I know this section might not be important, so I'm skipping a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And you're getting the gist of it. Once the door opens and you see in front of you a you know what? Roll me a sense motives. Is it sense motives? I think it is.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Sense motive.
Vibe check.
I've got a
Vibe
vibe check. Cool. I'm gonna roll. That's an 11. I'm not good at reading the room.
You see that the door opens and you see tired Melodious seems to be staring at everything in the room, like not like looking or scanning, just like staring into nothingness, but at the same time taking in. He seems tired.
Oh, I didn't realize how late it got.
No, it's fine. If you're not done reading, please feel free to stay. I just do like a drink. I personally could use something stiff. And I'm sure at this point he's discovered his secret stash of pretentious liquor somewhere in the room. And he's gonna go pour. I don't know how you measure gin, but some gin.
2 fingers worth. Why not?
Okay.
I don't know how to measure gin. I know how to measure tequila, mezcal.
I'm more of a wine person, though.
Measure gin with fingers, so it's 2 fingers.
Oh, I don't want to finger the gin. Thank you.
No, you finger the gin.
Sure. If you don't want to drink alone, I wouldn't mind.
He nods and goes through the motions sort of preparing these 2 cocktails and comes over and hands one to S and sits in the other chair.
As you're handing the drink, still every now and then look toward the small glass that has a small moss ball on the table to the side. You still swear it was on you.
So, what were you reading? I hope you were able to find something.
I mean, I'll read most anything. I just took one book off the shelf and he holds it up. It's a thick read, but it's been pleasurable enough.
Yes, I wish I had, any relevant opinions on it, but unfortunately, I don't remember anything I've ever read, and I haven't gotten a chance to brush up. So, it looks good enough. Have you had the chance to have a sit-down conversation with Kinsen Kara at all?
No. I have been very focused on finding things out from my own sense, and I've been thinking about heading. I know that she's got access to some other records. I had tried. I don't know if you're aware of the progress that I'm making, but finding some of the records of people database that are held here for rooms and boardings and whatnot. I've not found my records, but they're also incomplete, the process that I'm running. So I don't know if that's because my records aren't accessible, if they exist, if they've been corrupted and lost, or some other things. We know that not everybody on board was brought here with a ticket.
Right. Well, I'm no expert, obviously, but I recall hearing at some point that anything put in some sort of digital data form is never truly lost. Is that the case? Even if something has been removed, it would be feasible to track it down again?
There's very little ways that something can be truly lost when it comes to putting it out on data. Typically, when talking about nothing being lost is when it's uploaded to some sort of cloud feature, internet, wide web, all that. Harder to get rid of things when a million devices can cache it, if not more.
Right. Well, I expect that data will be useful. That the data you've been compiling. Kinsen Khan, I just spent the past 6, 8 odd hours compiling records of the photographs I have taken of decaying bodies before feeding them into the biocomposter. A bit of a grisly collection I have going in the greenhouse of personal effects. But at some point, perhaps we can collate all of our information together and put some names to faces that are still alive and intact.
Yeah, well, now I can see why you'd want something stiff.
Oh, I mean, a body's a body, a body. I consulted with our friend afterwards, regarding just what information was in my personal file. If I have any allergies, perhaps to shellfish, or it's good to know all that. If I have any conditions I should be aware of, and the information relayed to me was, and he knocks back like the last of his drink. Odd. It was odd, and honestly, I'm a bit shaken. However, it could be incorrect. of course. Doctors put down things when they're trying to have their way. You know how professionals can be. So I'll not dwell on it, but it did rattle me a bit. Was this moss ball in this jar on this table when you got here?
I don't know, DM, was it?
Oof, I'm divided between making this a roll or not.
Go ahead, make it a roll.
Percept.
I'll roll it. Ah,
What?
Just start rolling without any direction.
Just throw a dice. Doesn't matter if it's not even a d20. Just random dice.
Percept.
So here's the thing. When S entered Nelodia's room, would he like been looking at everywhere around, or just directly toward the books?
he'd probably, honestly, be only really towards the books and the chair that he was sitting at. So he wouldn't be like trying to take in all the details. It's not like when he's in his own room where he is making sure that everything is still in its place.
Roll a d20
All right.
and tell me even you think you saw it there, and the other is just you're not sure.
Got a 3. So
Yeah, you're not.
honestly, I wouldn't. I came back after helping Mac get his room situated, so I didn't really look to see if it was present. Is there a reason why it wouldn't have been?
No, not at all. Just a question. And Nelodius is going to set down his what is it called? It's not called a highball glass. It's gin, whatever. His cup. And
Glass.
Glass.
It's big enough.
He's going to set it down and stand and hesitate for a second, fiddling with the moss ball. He walks over to the desk that's in the corner that has sort of like typewriter with a digital screen and looks at it for a second and then snatches Sekran, what would have been the third journal sitting on his desk that we discussed months and months and months ago.
I think I know exactly which is the third journal. I think just let me clarify with the notes. Okay, before I clarify the notes, I need to find you.
Yes.
Found
hard
you.
to find. I can grab the date from that real quick because I scrolled back to double check.
Yes, I found it.
Yeah. It was a 9/11. So something magical happened that day. Oof. Never forget.
Wow. Okay, yeah, it was that date. And the third journal, it's a mix of dream journal, personal ramblings, and just like things talking about the mystic and arcane. So yeah, the rest of it, I will just copy it for you and paste it right there if you want to take a read of it, because I believe some of that should remain.
Yes. So he picks that up and he's flipping through it almost aimlessly. He's not looking for anything in specific. And as he does, he's almost just unconsciously pacing. And when he becomes aware of himself again, he's standing right in front of that spaceport or the viewport, looking out into the darkness of space. He snaps the journal closed again, and he is getting, as we'll notice, he's just getting like more and more visibly agitated. Not in a aggressive sense at all. Just he's getting antsy. He's fidgeting. He doesn't know what to do with his hands. He's
S takes a drink. Most of his drink is still there. But as he stands up, puts the book down as he had before. Just, and then he walks calmly over. Not quite the way that he normally does, which is where his shoulders sag and he curls in on himself to make him feel small, to make himself appear smaller, more relaxed. No, you seem like you have a lot of energy. Do you, this is going to be odd. Do you need physical touch to be grounded? If you need a hug or something, there's been some scenes in the book I've been reading. I'm not normally like this, but
perhaps I'm trying to organize some thoughts. There's something calling to me that no one else is getting, and I stepped off the elevator into a scary hell hallway that wasn't there, and I was trapped for a second. It's this. Don't you hear it? Don't you hear it? S. There's something out there, and it wants us, and I'm the only one who understands this. I'm the only one who's hearing this, and that it's pressing at me.
as Null is moving his hands, not quite sure what to do, S is actually going to go out and grab them gently. I don't hear it. That doesn't mean that it's not there. You don't hear the way that a computer will talk to you when you're trying to figure it out. It's a different level. Most people don't quite understand it the way that I do. But it's something that I can tune into, tap it, make it work, make it sing the way that it should. That nightmare elevator hallway sounds rough and terrifying. But if you're hearing something, I don't think that you should ignore that. And if you need someone to talk to about it and believe you, no matter what you say, I love a good ghost story here and there.
Null is like looking down at where their where their hands are touching, and he squeezes Ez's hands and then looks up with almost this giddy smile, and he says, "Oh, I'm not worried. I'm confused for sure, but I am a messenger. As like you said, you can hear computers in a way that most people can't, and I'm hearing something out there, and it's a bit scary and it's confusing, but it's special. I'm special. I've been. There's something it wants to tell me, and I'm going to tell everyone when I can figure it out. But the fact that you believe me is Kinson Kara's records say I was a man with elevated illusions of grandeur, which is ridiculous, of course. And it's had me a bit unsettled, and there are things written in my hand and written in this journal that I can't quite comprehend. I'm a man of science, and in science everything follows a very distinct order, and that's something I'm not seeing here. And he just is going to continue basically rehashing those things he's just said over and over, using same words in different order until Ez stops him.
Ez lets him go for a bit, but will eventually no, you don't have to convince me, and it doesn't. You don't have to convince yourself you're a messenger. You hear something. You don't have to tell yourself that because you're a man of science that you need order to this. Sometimes life is crazy and things happen and you don't know why. We woke up on a ship with no memory. We woke up on a ship that has amnesia itself. That's not science. That's something. It's an experience.
The fundamental tenets on which I have built my education as a man of science is that life moves in one direction, from life to death, and
you're not alive or dead.
Because I've been chosen by whatever is out there. It's moving me backwards in a direction that is not something I condone or understand. And how are we supposed to navigate that? Without any history, without any understanding of our place in this great, vast universe. That, I think, is the crux of what has unsettled and agitated me this evening.
I don't know if it would help you to hear it, and I don't know if it'll help you for me to say it. But why not for this evening? Not worry about where you're meant to be in this big, wide universe. Just be, on the Drollark, enjoying a drink. Bask in the insignificance of where we lie. You're meant for bigger things, and all you've said it, you've been chosen. But you don't have to carry that around all the time. You can lay it down sometimes. Hide under the radar. I exist under the radar most of the time. Few people see me. And I really want them to.
Yes. That seems as good a way forward as any for now. And he's gonna drop Ez's hands and walk back over to the sideboard to get himself a second drink and set down his journal with the moss ball jar on top of it.
As we'd go back and sit down, eyes trailing behind Noel for a moment before picking up the book and just existing.
Does S at some point returns to his room, their room?
He day,
Got
so
it.
either or.
Okay, thank you.
So, eventually S would leave and go back to go back to his own room. And it's a very different existence when he goes to his room. Knowles, he was very kind of more open and relaxed in his. It's very much more rigid. He steps in and immediately scans to make sure everything's in place, and satisfied with that, checks on all the projects that he has running before heading to bed. He doesn't do anything extra tonight.
I love the idea of Ez going back to his quarters, stepping in and saying, I think I'll slip into something less comfortable.
Right? Yeah, no
Yeah,
Mac
Ez
is
goes
present.
back.
So
Ez goes
yeah,
back to the room and just like something's missing. Oh yeah, I put Mac in his room. Ah shit.
Right?
I put Mac in. It's not like Mac moved somewhere. It's just I put it. We just move Mac
I mean,
around.
I did just
Mac has
tell
no
him.
autonomy.
I did tell Mac about his room by telling him he's got a parole schedule. So
Not the parole schedule.
Yeah, you go back to your room and quick check. Everything is fine. The process to cracking your own computer is long, awful, still some work to do. You really, really put some security in it. You find at least you find out that it has some you can connect and disconnect it from the rest of the of the ship. And probably that's why he has retained some of it and wasn't corrupted by whatever thing hit the ship. And the memory of everybody in the crew. But unfortunately, that leaves you with a very hardy and well-defended computer that you're just annoyed, but also kind of proud of yourself. It's weird, thinking
Yeah.
like, God damn it! It's like you made the perfect password, that one that nobody could figure out, but you didn't type it down, and you're like, fuck, what was the password?
I didn't need to when I had it.
You didn't need it to, but
It's
gone.
not even a real password. It's like a chevron M5L9.
Yeah.
It's not even a
Hey.
password. It's just a collection of letters and symbols that make no sense to anybody.
Would you like to use one of Google's highly secure passwords?
Would you like to face roll your keyboard and use that as a password?
Have we just cracked the code?
Guys, it wouldn't be S's face.
You have to try every face
You have
until
to-
you find
You
it.
ready to throw your face on the keyboard?
You've heard about digital fingerprint. Now get ready for it.
So I know that the progress on the computer is going that. I would imagine that it's very much the same on the personal data pad, the one that triggered the first memory. It's slow going because it's very secure.
Yeah, it's taking your time.
Mhm.
You have more or less managed to use the so you scramble inside each room. There's some systems, and you scramble what you had there to kind of use it and use a console. It has been awfully uncomfortable working
Mhm.
from a console,
Oh
a
yeah.
small console there, but you managed to at least get some keyboard stuff and send some data into the data pads you obtain around to work. But it's still some work in progress. You're getting your own stuff out. But yeah, you have your room, no one to bother you, and silence at the moment. But there, as you like lay down, and you have that sensation of like you have checked everything, you're sure everything is right. No, there's something missing, something you haven't found yet. And now that you're alone in your room, in your quarters, what began like a small tick, it's eating you more and more as you think about that color. It has to be somewhere here.
as I think about it, as it starts to eat, I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna look for it.
You take your time to do it, and you're very meticulous in this part. It's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour. But began like just a small, like, I'm gonna check carefully everything, begins to be like, did I really check this? You go back to things. You're not sure if you pass already from this or not. This panel, did I move already? Yes, I move already. Why it looks like that? Did I put it the same place? No. Okay, maybe I need to write it down. You're not sure where you left it, but it has to be here. It has to be here. In the moments that you stopped, like to look around, is when you notice briefly you're having a hard time breathing. And there's anxiety, but immediately you see a corner. You're like, I haven't checked there, and you go there. But no, you already checked this. You go back and forth, back and forth. It's becoming that desperate, that frustrating search of something, and you're like double, triple, 4 times, 5 times checking the same goddamn corner looking for the thing, and you're like, I already know I check here. It's not going to appear, but I'm still checking because what if I, until you move a panel under the bed, the most stupid fucking place you could have found. You move the panel and it's dark inside, probably some storage area you made for yourself, or probably it's part of the ship, you're not sure. You pull out first what seems to be like some sort of like small metal suitcase kind of thing. Doesn't have a code, but has two prints, like print scanners on the sides. And before you open that, you like get your hand inside and pull a smaller box. Simply has a clasp in it. Pull it out, open it up, almost with frustration, wanting to believe it's there, but at the same time, you're like, it's probably something fucking stupid, like another gun, more data pads hidden around. And your lungs for a moment are empty as you see it there. Relief, but also frustration and just a moment of, yeah, I found it. What now? What is this? And you grab it, you see it around. Has a metal plate in it inscribed. It's a scrape, like something that hit it, and you only see the first words. S. The rest of it seems not very readable. Probably could be restored, but the damage in it seems more of roll me an intelligence check, memory check this time.
Just these dice. Okay, that's a natural 20 for a total of 23.
Okay. Memory comes slowly, being more. It's hard to say it's a clear memory because there's confusion, there is uncertainty, there is you looking around, not sure where or what. getting up, stumbling, hurt. The world is shaking. You feel something warm your head, and you move your hand and you see blood. Stumble more and more across the streets, across this dark place. This is a weird memory. Almost feel like something you just lived not long ago. The sensation of many questions, not a single answer, until you stop somewhere away from wherever you woke up. You look away back, and there's smoke, fire. The fire is kind of dying already. The streets are dark, confusing. And in your hand, as you're like checking yourself or anything, falls off from somewhere in you and hits the ground, and you see the color there. And you're back in the Dralark in your room. You're sure that memory might be like something very clear for you, probably the clearest you could ever remember a memory from their past. But it's a messy one. Almost feels like the same sensations that you had when you woke up in the corridors of this Dralark.
S is going to take the collar and unclasp it and make sure that he can wrap it around his hand, and just closes his fist around it to hold it as he begins to almost disassociate, having the panic, the confusion flooding through his system and reliving it who knows how many times at this point. He has a memory of doing it once before. He has lived through it upon the Dralark and remembers that. And now the two clashing and overlapping. It is the sound of the leather not even really responding to the tension because it is well worn, kind of filling his ears in the silence of his room.
You remain there, and time passes. You're not sure how long it takes you before you fall asleep slowly, curling up in the floor next to the bed. And the night passes for all of you with different questions, different memories. Whoever of the four of you have an alarm will wake up first if you wish, or if you have a terrible night. Mhm.
Oh, I think
I,
that was just
Kay, that was just saying that Kay would have an alarm.
Particular
And-
preference of hour?
Just 8 hours after slept. And it would
Okay.
be like a timer when the music just cuts off.
Okay.
And that would be enough to wake them up.
You went to sleep like around 10:30, 11 p.m. I kind of think if I recall from last time you guys were talking.
Yeah.
So, I will wake up like 6 then a.m., 7 a.m. ish.
Yeah, around 7.
So okay. Yeah, the music stops, and
So it's good to get back.
it is a weird sensation whenever that hits you. You think you might have been used by the time, but it still feels weird that stopping, and there's like the ringing sensation after there's a lot of noise that brings you to consciousness, not abruptly, but still a good way of like, there's a stimuli, now it is not there. Oh, I'm now conscious about that.
It's the exact opposite of waking up to wah wah wah.
Yeah, it's like, oh god, you're getting up. uh twisty, not squishy. Twisty, that's the name of it.
Twisty.
Right? Twisty. It's
Twisty
around.
is squishy. Sorry.
I
Twisty.
think we broke him.
Twisty just around. You see that it took another shape around like
It replaced
look
my
at-
coffee cup, and I don't realize it until I went to go get coffee.
no, you're very clearly identified that's not your coffee because the ear of the coffee it's inside of it. And you're like, oh no, that's squishy. But when you're like go to grab it, it moves and gets around your arm and makes like a watch, or at least what he thinks a watch would be,
Right.
because he has 4 like arms and all are long, and they're just like spinning, like not quickly, just like. So
It's like a Wonderland watch.
Yeah, it's his interpretation of a watch. Maybe he's just also waking up. You're not not sure what's up with it, but yeah, you go up, get your coffee. I have questions about books and coffee now.
It's a flavor thing.
Yeah.
I'm affected by caffeine.
Yeah, it's more of a flavor thing than it is a caffeine requirement. They enjoy the smell and the flavor of the coffee.
Yeah, it's a good thing to wake up to, and
Space Folgers.
And you're just like getting ready for the day. Haven't received any message at the moment, so that's absolutely delightful.
So in getting ready, Kay is overly thinking at this point. A lot of what ifs and more questions than there are answers to them. Like, what exactly were we looking for? Why does the ship that was seeking more knowledge have extra passengers? You know, what is everyone's role here, along with just general, like, I have an idea of what I was doing before, but I don't really fully understand it, so there's that confusion with it. And in their acts of getting ready, it's kind of just autopilot as they're getting ready. And for the first time that Kay knows of, they just grab a tie and methodically put it on without really looking at the different variants for today.
Quick question. How long does Kay's get up routine last?
Maybe 10 minutes.
Okay, cool.
Okay. And after you finish, can you suffer the tying up the tie, which probably would be the last things you do before leaving out. Among your things, you also find like a good bag, like side bag thing that you can put like books, data pad, things like that. You get it on, get the things that you might require around. Also, get your gun in the belt ready. Where would you head out once you walk out of your quarters?
I'm gonna go check that captain's lounge that I know where it's at. And yeah, I don't know that Mac has a room, so I can't really go check on anybody because I don't know where everyone's where he's at. But I think we'll start there.
Okay. Before we move into seeing what the rest of our group are doing, we'll have a small quick break, and we'll retake the story in a few moments. So see you guys in 5 minutes ish, 10 minutes. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to tonight's session, episode 12.
Yes.
I hope I said the right number.
It is 12.
I was so sure until I said the
That's
number. I'm
where
like,
2012 came from.
yeah, that's where exactly it came from. So we left as Kay was leaving their room and heading toward the location that they believe it's the captain quarters, lounge, and office area. And yeah, as she's leaving, we will go a few minutes back in time to, let's see, we haven't seen anything about Mac Amos, so moving across the hallways and going into a inconspicuous room. How do we find Mac in this early morning, and would he be up and about?
Would not be. He's what? He may be awake, but he's not up. He is,
So
as we last left him, on the floor of his kitchen. As gracious as he is, the giant himself, on the floor of his kitchen, holding the flask. Really hasn't moved. He may have left the kitchen by now.
probably would have
It's not a,
moved to the
maybe-
bedroom.
no,
Okay.
no, he didn't make it that far.
There's some
It's probably just outside the kitchen. Yeah, it's probably fell back and it's down back on the floor. He's not made it to the bed.
Okay.
But yeah, Mac, who's usually this like weirdly clean picture, he's never really disheveled looking. Like S would have probably noticed he's like he folds up his clothes before he goes to bed. Like everything is very neat and tidy with Mac for some reason. He does not look like that. He is a mess. His hair is a mess. His shirt's untucked. His vest is unbuttoned. Nothing is right. He looks stressed. If there was he looked at a dictionary and saw stressed, it's Mac right there as a picture reference.
You had a terrible night, and though there were no nightmares, it was just a constant white noise of that memory you had. And would you get out of your room in this early morning, or wait until you get a message from one of the group or another crewmate?
But at this point, Mac has probably run through his supply of cigarettes. So yeah, he would probably go on the hunt for at least cigarettes, possibly alcohol at this point.
Okay.
Whether or not it's 7, 8 in the morning, he doesn't care.
It's kind of 7:15 in the morning.
Mac has not looked at the time. He doesn't.
You just walk out, still looking disheveled, and
He also now can't get back in his room.
yeah. So, hmm,
But he has his stuff with him now.
yeah. Question: where would Amos go to look for such thing?
Honestly, for his first thought for cigarettes, probably gonna be S.
Okay. Well,
Anybody's gonna know where to find him.
as you're making your way toward S room, we will move again a couple of minutes back in time and arrive to S quarters. How do we find S after sleeping?
So S did not move onto his bed. He's still on the ground from where he sat, leaned up against it. He's
Androids sleep on floors.
well, it's not even that he really planned on sleeping. He just stayed enough to where his body passed out, and from the memories, the stress, would wake himself up fitfully again until again the tiredness came. So when S is like starting to realize that his body's not going back into that process of shutting down, restoring itself, sleeping, he's putting away everything that he found underneath the bed again, putting everything in its place. And after that's done, he immediately lights up a cig. He takes the time and he looks at his data pad, the one that he has accumulated, not the one that he had when he entered into the Dalek, but the one that he's been using as his communication device here with the different crewmates and his companions. And he's very much contemplating reaching out as he's remembering what Noel had spoken of last night, and reaching out to talk to Kay. But also feels like this morning right now, especially at this current moment, he's a bit of a mess. So he's putting that off, but it's definitely in his mind. So he's just like waiting for a more appropriate time. And that's S's morning.
Okay. After some minutes, 7:20-ish, you're still off putting some things, just checking out, like trying to figure out things. There's a call to your door.
S gets up, expecting anyone to be on the other side. Opens it up just enough to see that it's Mac on the other side. I'm assuming that this is the Mac coming in.
Yeah.
Oh,
cool. It is me. All right.
Yeah.
So S will open up the door for Mac to come in.
Yeah. Mac, looking equally stressed to you.
I'm assuming that your night was not good.
It's morning?
Yeah.
Oh. I apparently passed out at some point. At least twice. Once in the kitchen and in the other room. But do cigarettes? I have exhausted all of mine. Apparently. As well.
Yeah, I've got some, and he goes, finds his cart and will pass it off. It's got maybe like a third left.
Just immediately lights one and just. So, how was your night?
I passed out at least twice. Didn't move. I read a great book.
She's doing better than me.
Yeah. It just lets it go quiet, lets that hang in the air. Chat. Oh my god. S would not be talking about that.
Oh, of course, it would not be talking about holding hands with Noel.
No,
that's
sin.
bring that
That's
up.
sinful right there.
Sinful.
Yes.
Can't bring that up with Mac. I can't tell my potential android boyfriend about my potential dead boyfriends.
So yeah, light of the cigarette, and
But-
there's a moment of relief as you take in the smoke, let it out.
So we're both very well aware that I'm a criminal, or was. I think might be a little worse.
Okay. I'm listening.
Well, I remembered something.
Okay.
Mac will proceed to tell us about how he joined the Verdant Sun. stealing from them and then proceeding to basically get the shit kicked out of him until he joined them
Yeah, you
by
tell
the
about this.
captain.
Yeah, you tell him about this, like at least the pieces of loose memory you have of that situation. Um,
All right. I don't quite know what to say to that except that's real screwed.
Yeah, I agree.
But so Verdant Sun, that's a name we need to worry about, right? If it comes up.
I'll even take out the flask and I'll even show it as that symbol too. Found that in my quarters.
All right. S will take a moment to look at it and try and commit the symbol to memory.
yeah, you do that. Um, you know, as someone with a lot of points in computers, you also think the possibility of taking an image with the data pad
Oh
and
yeah,
storing that.
I could do
Oh,
that,
right.
but
They're-
S is also
they're
like sleep deprived.
phones.
So and honestly,
It's just when phones don't have cameras.
I
I mean, like, yes, it makes sense to have that as like a backup thing, but S is more thinking of, he kept his stuff locked down for a reason, and if this is bad news, also probably don't want to have that stuff in a way that it's like that can be traced and recognized. So
Sure. Yeah. Okay. You store it the way you decide you will.
Yeah.
And yep.
Take a picture with your eyes.
Androids.
Your androids. You can do that probably.
We can do that, maybe.
No. They still work like individuals. They have.
Oh, that's so great. Just like no.
They're not
I
like
mean,
the
like,
Snapchat glasses.
I would say that if S could do that, it would not be because of biological means. He would, yeah, like if he's taking pictures with his eyes, he's got some sort of gadget there.
You could say you have photographic memory.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm disappointed in that pun.
But no. After kind of taking a look at the flask and the symbol, handing it back to Mac. So, now that you have this information, potentially worse that it could be, is there anything you want to do with it?
With what information that I was beaten by my last crew and potentially worse?
Are you looking for vengeance? Do you want more information? Are you going to...
I don't know. I don't know, Wes. I don't know what I want. I just remember this and it was the last on the floor of my kitchen. And I don't know what I'm doing. Right now, the priority is surviving. I don't know how I got here. All I know is that I was arrested. I don't know why I was arrested. I don't know how I got arrested. My only thought now is that if I'm caught by the Verdant Sun again, that same thing is going to happen. Maybe even worse, because who knows what they did after I joined their crew.
I don't think you have to worry about the Verdant Sun finding you.
I don't know if we have to worry about anybody in the business.
mean, they
No,
were
not
giving
really. They
Flask
sure
with the
were.
emblem. Hey, souvenirs.
Right now, you're right. It's surviving first. And we're managing.
I guess it makes sense why I reacted the way I did. Like, Casimir, the god, terrifying noise.
Yeah, no, that
I didn't even think a noise could come out of that small frame.
it is. Kay. Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
And him just to put it, as Mac has in the past, put a hand on his shoulder and say, thanks, for just being and not, I guess, judging or anything. You can, like, talk to me too, right? If,
Yeah,
At that
okay.
moment, you hear beeping coming from the console in your own room, as the beeping that a couple of times before has interrupted your thoughts, as it seems to be like a call from the bridge.
hold on, I need to take this.
S proceed to make himself presentable.
S will go over to the console. Yeah, what's up?
Hey, good morning, S. This is Wahebel.
Yeah,
Sorry for waking you up at this early in the morning.
I've been up.
Yeah, me and the engineering crew has also been. Other way, we got some news. I'm trying to call to everyone, starting with you first. We got the drift engine stable and working. If you can tell Amos, I know apparently he's staying with you. If you can come up here and check the ship for being ready to fly.
Yeah, no, I'll let Mac know.
Thank you. I'll contact the others. In the meantime, just I don't know. We're not in a hurry or anything. We're just trying to get back home, but still, get yourself a coffee or something. It's in the morning, so we understand.
Yeah, I'll see when I can make my way up. Just check on things physically, but I'll let Mac know.
Yeah, sure. I'll catch you here in the beach. Volleyball out.
S turns. Yeah, they. That was actually more a message for you. I don't know if you heard, but the drift engine, it's good to go.
Okay. I heard, but I like hearing you talk. I with that mask and like bolt the fuck out.
Yep,
Just
you walk out.
fuck. I said that out loud. Fucking run.
You walk out of the room, leaving the door open, and S just like there, like I'm not sure what S will be thinking.
S takes a moment to process that, and then realizes that I don't have the energy to deal with that right now. I'm putting that aside.
In the vault.
I will unpack that box at a later time.
No spoons left for this.
I just woke up and I'm already done with you.
I need to ask a quick question. When Mac was panicking, did you still have S's carton of cigarettes?
No, he would have left that with you.
Okay, cool. I was like, but no, all right. With that, then S will actually then send out a message both to Noel's datapad and to Kay's with Vohivel will be contacting you, but Drift Engine is set up, ready to go. And then to Kay, a second message of, hey, is there time where we can meet and talk?
Okay. What have I done from 7:30 to 8, Secrane?
No, it was around like the same time as them. Like it has not passed long. Like so the
S's original plan was 8 o'clock, and then this happened.
Okay.
yeah, he
So
got
Kay will send back to S. Let me check the captain's quarters, and then we can chat.
You get just a thumbs up emoji from S.
Meet me at my office.
Another thumbs up.
I would say definitely the same message arrives to you, like the call to you, Kay, letting you know about that situation. Like, just like, hey, we might need you in the bridge, we might not. I'm not sure. But yet again, moving minutes back in time at 7 a.m. What would Melodious McPherson would be doing at that time?
He is sitting at his desk typing on his little typewriter like he's been since S left the room the night before. He has not slept. He is almost feverishly writing things down.
For one of your journals, for a book, essay, what are you writing for?
This and that. um uh I think the best words I have to describe it would be liturgy. Like he's trying to compile all of the experiences he's had with this voice and this feeling, this being drawn to the void, and what he picked up in his journals from the before times, and he is assembling it. It's not good writing. It's not necessarily flowing, but he has been writing it for a couple hours now.
Just like stream
Yeah.
of consciousness.
Just stream of consciousness is exactly the word.
Got it. Just letting it out into a paper to maybe give it a form, a shape.
Mhm.
I take you have been also checking the journal and
Yes.
comparing things. Okay. So in that journal, there's some dates. There are in some parts it seems a long time has passed. Then there's some sections that is almost like daily. There's even some sections talking about in the same day things happening, and it's a wide range of things. The first ones, you're not sure what year is it, but it has apparently your records have been for some years now.
Mhm.
This might not be the first journal even, but they range from sudden spectral visions of weird things, shapeless things, sometimes things that feel a bit physical, sometimes just things in your dreams. Like there's a wide variety of things. The words from K also ring somewhat. Your logical mind, the mind that you are more of a scientist, is like, yes, I see why she said that.
I get it.
The emotional and personal part of your brain says, there
Fuck
must be
that
some.
bitch.
Wow, okay.
Sorry.
I wanted to be poetic about this, but yeah, your more personal part of your brain says, fuck that bitch. Oh fuck. Yeah, I suppose, yeah. I guess bitch is not like he it's just generalized. Like it can be a they, them, he,
Bitch is a
him.
gender neutral term.
Either way, you think that.
Mhm.
We are a rated
M for mature.
M for mature stream, yes.
Yeah. But you notice there's a point on the very later entries that the things written there seem to be not good. They began to be slowly more distressing, slowly more. Instead of being something of, hey, I feel the call from something great, there's even notations of not feeling comfortable with these calls. And there's some pages that there's just maddening scribbles. They don't make sense. And there's some pages that are missing toward the end, ripped. And just trying to piece out together things. This. You take a deep breath for a moment, like an instant that you just like forget you're just in this trance, and you're like, oh God, what hour is it? What time is it? Like you didn't even think of making a pause until now, and look back at what you were writing. You begin picking it apart, like
This is garbage.
kind of like I should have written this way better. This isn't clear. Like you're like being that way, and you just close your eyes for a moment, like tired. The memory of holding hands the last night kind of brings a comfort. You lean on your chair, stare into the window that you have there. The void is alluring. That emptiness, just nothingness around. But at the same time, everything. You're such an insignificant individual in the universe, yet you have the capacity to think about it. Maybe that's why you heard that. There's a purpose, perhaps. And what is that purpose but maybe just a connection of others, of the world around us, of the universe? In an instinctual way, you get up, go for one of those physical books that you have of that author, the first edition that you have one of them. Grab it. And you're not even sure what page you're looking, just open it, go for somewhere. There's this description. You haven't fully read the book, just big parts of it. You've been busy. And just the description says of a moment where the character is just staring, having struggled for weeks now. And it's describing a sensation of comforting solitude in the idea of belonging, even if it's far from where they come from. You stop at that sentence. You go to your journal, get to a page, and you see highlighted the same phrasing. You tilt your head, see the date of it, move to the book, see the date of the book. The phrase was written before the printing of this book. A beeping sounds in your door, in your data pad, sorry. And you reach for it, and as you're reading the message from S,
No.
yeah, a Bohibel might call beep 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 beep. Immediately you get the beeping, and you see it's a call from the bridge.
Mhm. Good morning.
Hey, I'm Bohibel. You sound more active than the other two.
Yes, I feel right as rain.
Right as rain. That makes me
Don't worry.
think. That was made me think if I have experienced rain in my life. You hear sipping of something. Sorry, haven't slept much lately. By the way, I'm Bohibel. God damn. Sorry if I didn't say who I was. Yeah, we got the drift engine going on, repair. We already called the other three of you guys.
Yes, and that's the bit that makes the ship move.
Yes, the thing that makes the ship move great
Excellent.
distances. Yes.
Excellent.
Yes. So, we thought might be good for having you guys up here in the bridge just in case. Obviously Mac because it's a pilot,
Right.
kind of better than the others, but I mean, who knows? We might need your help. You guys have been helping us a lot. So yeah, come over here. And God, I'm feeling rambling now. I'll see you in a moment. Bridge out. Beep.
And my God. I'm so sorry. You are 17 pounds of Florida, man. No. All he wants is to be held. He will not stop moving. And Noel is very much in that state where I'm not sure if anyone who has functional brain chemistry has experienced this, but where you right before you're about to go to sleep get a really great idea for a project and you just launch yourself fully into that, zone out, and then suddenly it's 6 a.m. where you're not tired. You do feel like dying, but you're not tired. That's very much the energy Mr. Nelodius McPherson takes with him as he goes to splash some cold water on his face. Make himself presentable.
Yeah, you get ready, and you just get more or less adjusted in the clothes that you have, thinking, oh, maybe nobody will notice it's the same clothes from yesterday. Just get some water in your face. And as you're walking out, you see in the desk next to the typewriter where you left it, the moss ball with the bottle there, just where you remember leaving it last time.
Okay. He's gonna grab that, put it in his pocket.
Here, you do that and walk out, and it doesn't take you long for you to get to the bridge because you're over there. Kay, you are already on your way, and one by one, you guys arrive to the bridge, and you see some of the bridge officers here. Some look kind of rested. Bahibel looks tired. Even his Lashunta antenna seem to be like, yeah, like he's not fully here. He has a coffee mug, just drinking from it, and yeah, you see the two pilots, the Shirin, and the Vesk there, which I need to remember the names. Though I don't remember if they gave their names to you guys.
They didn't.
Okay, that's why I was
Did
thinking.
not
Like,
give them to Mac. They're afraid of him.
that's right. That's why I couldn't remember their names because they haven't given them to you. Okay, and they just like they're calibrating some stuff. They seem to be arguing between them. And once the four of you are here, Bahir will just like mug in hand. Well, so we located to where we can get more resources for the ship. But we got a second team that can go down there, do more extensive drilling, so they can get the resources. So you don't need to go. It's fine. But if our pilot does the honors of the ship, he looks at you, Mac.
Oh, right. Pilot. Mac, not here, right? Pilot, yes. That is what I do. Yes. Still really concerned.
Listen, we
still
could.
checking to make sure that he's put together, and it's like I got the storm.
Yep. And as you get to the control section of the ship, you hear now, paying a bit more attention to the discussion the two are having, the Sheeran and the Besk at the control section. Like, no, I'm telling you, that can't be possible. Like, what do you mean like that? And you hear now in a weird common pronunciation, the Sheeran talking, but it's just I don't get the signal. Like, it's there and not there. So I don't think we can just jump into the drift like that.
So, from over their shoulders, with how goddamn tall I am, I want to look at what they're doing. Can I figure out the answer and then just explain it to them?
Yeah. So, did you want to like do a quick thing or just go with a passive
What would I be rolling for this?
piloting? It's definitely piloting. Piloting or engineering.
So if piloting is 27, sure.
Okay. You go and over their head. They're totally distracted between their discussion. And you're just thinking, oh God, these guys, you just don't know how to fly a goddamn ship. You're about to just tell them, move aside. When you see that on the side of the navigator, which would be the Vesk, which is still a tall individual because of the race, like burly, large, lizard-like folk. Like looking over his shoulder, seeing the indication, and he has like the display of the drift engine, right? And you're like, why is this arguing? That makes no goddamn sense. So, with your knowledge of what you're remembering of the drift, you know that it's kind of a secondary dimension kind of thing, like in between dimensions that the ships go into and can go through long distances in a short time. And you know that there are certain things that help anchor across between the drift and the normal plane, the material plane, if we want to call it that way. And it anchors to the main place it anchors is Absalom Station, where it's the what is it called? Kind of like a massive lighthouse across the stars, and there's smaller ones across. And you're thinking like, I mean, if we have the drift engine and we can read this, fuck it, like you just mark right into it, and the drift engine will do most of the work. In a matter of hours, if we're way too far, we'll get there. But you see the readings. It only picks the lighthouse of Absalom Station, that massive, bright, shining thing in the drift, only gets it partially.
Well, that's not right.
Oh, you see the best, like, realizes is that you're there and like stands up and like moves to the side, leaving you the seat.
Hi. Morning.
Hi.
He's right. It sort of. You can't go into the drift any way, which way you technically want, but you go for Aspel, whatever, the station. Biggest thing out there. But this isn't picking it up. Not all the way. Hey, S? Did the navigation systems right? Did we fix those?
There's some issues that we had picked up, but I want to say that the navigations was quickly fixed. I can take another look.
Well, this isn't picking up the coordinates of Absalon Station. Like, it's only partially picking it up. You can take a look.
Yeah, can I look into the computer systems and do a quick diag?
You can look from this
far
console.
away from the system? Did this
God, are we too far from the system?
God.
I would know this.
With your piloting, you would know you're far from any of the drift lighthouses that are set up even outside of the near space of around the back worlds, the main core system. You're at a good way distance. And as give me either, what do I even tell you between one and another? Computers, go.
All right, I can do computers.
What do I even tell you?
This is the one time that I can't do computers. I rolled a natural one, so that makes that a 16.
Yeah, this might be more of an engineering situation or a science situation. You can help calibrate some of it, but you're kind of lost.
This seems a little bit more than my specialties. I can help patch up information, but anyone, got like sciencey type knowledge, or even engineering could work.
I can try to fix it.
Sure, why not?
I'd
Perhaps
like to roll engineering.
Go ahead.
Can I give her help with my engineering skills?
Yeah, you will add a +2 to your roll then.
Okay, hold on a minute.
And I'll just be directing to the areas where it's like that I can see.
Yeah.
It's goofy. This wire here looks
33.
goofy.
What?
33?
Yeah.
Wow. Fuck me. Okay.
I just love the idea that there's
Yeah, you
like
begin
5 people around this
helping-
one console.
Yeah, you're cramping this console, and like the other two, the pilot and navigator, get out of it.
I just imagine Kay like pops one of the panels and then just starts fiddling with wires and like putting the stuff together.
Yeah, you're managing to kind of overpass the navigators, the sensor systems that are not functioning correctly, so you can get a clear view of the drift area and how the drift navigation would work for the ship, which seems not as damaged as the just normal sensors. You manage to get a clearer signal of Absalom Station, but it's, how to describe it?
It's like a flicker in the night. Like if a lighthouse had a rotating circle, you could only see it when it's pointing your direction.
How to describe it?
I don't know, I'm guessing. I'm trying to help.
No, yeah. You are picking where it should be. You're like, yes, this is the coordinates. Yes, we're picking something. But where you're picking, it's like half of a signal. And that signal is like not right. Like a radio when you're trying to grab it, like calibrate into a certain frequency, and it's just like hearing part of it.
So what I gather is either something is wrong in Absalom Station, or we're just that far away that we can't get a clear signal.
If
May
I
I
may
recommend...
interject.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
May I recommend tiny jumps to get closer without colliding with a star or a planet? I'm not entirely sure how that works.
So,
it's a good plan not to collide with the star or planet.
this is something you would know. Both Mac, with your knowledge of piloting, you would know that there's a particular thing in Absalom Station called the Starstone that is causing this like lighthouse effect in the drift, and is what is guiding through. And
we
it's
can't be too far away from Epsilon Station.
There's the way the drift works, and you like with your memories and everything of like picking things of the times you've been going into the drift. Doesn't matter how far you are.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how far you are. It's like a compass.
It's always there. But this time is. So probably the first idea of K might be right. Something is wrong with Absalom Station.
So we got the general clue where Epsilon Station is. So perhaps, I guess small jumps would be the right solution here, but we'd have to be gathering information of nearby star systems and everything around us. Even then, it's almost impossible in the drift. It's kind
You
of
got
like
information. Yep. You got information. You have to drop out of the drift.
Yeah, it's like going through a wormhole. We would have to know what's on the other end. Man, but we could try.
Worst case scenario.
We die?
Yes. Best case scenario, we get there and everything is just having a malfunction. But I was also going to say, middle case scenario, we get there and there's a huge problem. Then what do we do? We can't fix everything.
I would assume you would try to help, though.
Mac looks at us, actually, and just goes, we survive.
You see where, as you look at us, he meets your eyes as you say this, and there's a small nod, but he doesn't actually voice anything, and just he takes a drink of the coffee that he has stolen from the Bridges break room.
I thought you were saying stole it from the bridge office.
No, he Vahivel is his man. He wouldn't take it from Vahivel.
As has
but definitely not, but somebody else, yeah.
Oh, probably.
Straw that he just keeps poking into people's coffee.
You have a milkshake. Oh. I have a straw.
Alright. So.
Before we go, you wanted to talk. Should we go to the hallway?
Well,
like a break room, if there's something there.
It wasn't.
I'm trying to figure this out.
I just wanted to see if you had records on me. Nothing really
Oh
important.
no, you're a ghost.
Okay.
Ooh. Well,
I could
that's
find that you are
certainly
a
spooky.
passenger, but beyond your initial introversion check, which we already figured out that you are really good in social situations, but yeah, I don't have any other information on you. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't find my own files existing when it was being patched up with the work I was doing. I just wanted to see if you had something. So
I
that
wish
was
I
it.
did, friend.
All right. A criminal, a therapist, a ghost, and a plant doctor all go into the drift. Let's see what happens.
I did want to tell you all. I had a memory of the captain. I don't know if they're alive still, or perhaps we just haven't found them in terms of the body, because I know we're still sweeping the ship and opening doors that are locked. And it's possible that whatever happened to us, if they aren't on the ship at all, maybe they were taken by something. I don't know why. Or perhaps maybe they got off at a previous stop and we were in the process of getting a new captain. That's the optimist's way to look at it. I like Saccarine's laughter at that one. It's just
Like,
like,
peace out.
Oh yeah, peace out.
Is-
Bye.
this is my colony now. Y'all go.
There's like a flicker of something on S's face as Kay brings up, stops getting on and transferring leaderships as he remembers the talk of increased security past Triaxis from his first memory.
Beyond
Increased
that, I
security
just
might
hope we
have been
don't die.
I feel the same sentiment towards dying.
It's not so bad.
Everyone in the bridge looks at you. No.
Even Mac turns and looks at you and goes, "You're not really helping the vibe of the room." And I'm sorry I called you a plant doctor. You are a botanist.
I mean, I presumably have a PhD and in studying plants, so it's not incorrect.
True. But here we go. I guess. Into the unknown.
Into the unknown.
You sit down in the pilot seat. There was already some input put by the other two, and you
Just
see
stare at them until they get up.
they get up. You see the Besk kind of sheepishly sits in the navigator section, like the one helping the actual pilot go, and kind of not looking at you helps you put some inputs as the ship gets ready to move to the next planet in the system to gather some resources. And in front of you, the rift into the drift, I need a better word for that, opens into this purplish dimension as you quickly go into it and disappear, leaving this cold planet behind. And we will cut away from our players and we do something a bit more cinematic. This is something that, as the characters would not know, we as audience would see. Away from our heroes, across the stars and the emptiness of space, a star continues its cycle where once it shined with light similar to its dozens of thousands of cousin stars and brothers and sisters. This one has a green and dark tint, devouring the celestial bodies near it and giving wave after wave of cold energy. Dark spots in it grow like festering wounds where none should exist. Infinitesimally small compared to this dying colossus, a shadow moves, trailing away from it and into the secondary shape, still very small but bigger than the shadow. The light of the engine is barely visible compared to the darkened star, as the shadow sips and slicks into the creaks of the bone-like structure of the hull. The corridors are dark. Some even lack air or any atmosphere in it. The bridge has some consoles in it with figures, not precisely in them, as more attached and fused into the seats and unable to look left, right, or anywhere but in front. The light of the monitors giving a dim, green atmosphere to the bridge as the shadow arrives, sweeping and forming into the shape of this weird creature that you face in the core of your ship. The leathery, dark dress forming its shape as it just forms, hands up. We do see its face, or what would be a face with this leather covering most of it and just a skull and the teeth just showing, darkened, rotted. And approaching it, a figure, like kind of humanoid covered with armor of bone, approaches it. There's eyes in it, but they just glow with a greenish necrotic energy in it as it bows. That singer says, as this individual named as Dead Singer rises. Let know the voice of Noel that they are on the move, to be intercepted later before they reach into the known space. Let other Dead Singers know about their movements and presence. No location of the intruder, of the rat. We'll let know the Lord about such advancements if we find any. As it blindly stares into the main monitor, where it shows the star with dozens of blips of other ships surrounding the star, as the energies flow out of the star into them. And with that, we will be closing season 1 of Homeward. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And we'll be seeing you next year as we continue our way homeward. Thank you all for joining. Have a wonderful night and stay nerdy.